we call him a terrorist. I have to actually put him in the goat paddock sometimes, just let him run it out and chase after them, because he is a natural born killer. If you want a golden doodle, they'll get a golden doodle. Stop trying to make this dog this dominant. I don't think people really understand what dominant really means. My stance has always been command, then demand. Hard stop.
Step into the realm of canine wisdom with our podcast, NWA Corsos, where we interview dog men and women from around the globe. Discover their talents and insights on breeding, training, nutrition, and the rich history of dogs.
Yes, finally, we got her here. What's going on, Ericka?
Hello.
Yes. 12 Titan Connie Corso is in the house. Well, I've been watching you for some years, and I just want you to know you've been an inspiration to a lot of people. I'm pretty sure you've heard that many times.
Wow.
An ambassador. You ain't did nothing crazy. So I mean, and then you're a breeder. You know what I mean? You're a real breeder. You made your own way. You didn't have to come through nobody. You just
Wow. When you put it like that, I'm like, who is that? Wow. Thank you.
It goes fast. How long have you been involved in the breed?
Interesting you should say that, because I was trying to do the math today, actually, because I always say over 10 years, but time waits for no one. It's actually been about 16 to 18 years, because my daughter is 22 now, and I got my first 2 Connie Corsos when she was 3, about to turn 4. So when I say it's been a minute, it's been a minute. I didn't realize it. I just kind of took it for granted, like, oh man.
Right. And you have been heavily involved in the corporate world, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So breeding, and I do not use the terms hustle, side gig, anything like that.
Right.
Not even hobby, because at some point I realized that it was a love and a passion.
Yes, ma'am.
And because it was that, I never treated it anything less than. But I always told people, I'm in corporate America. I've been in IT for a very long time, and I've gone up the ranks. And used to always get offended when people would, you have those naysayers, or people who put comments on your videos or in your posts on all of the social media. Get a job, and dude, I got a job.
That's funny you say that, because when I started podcasting, I guess about 3 years ago, that's the first stigma I had to break. Look, we got careers, we got businesses,
right?
We got jobs. You know what I mean? So, and I'm your neighbor. You know what I mean? It's just yeah. But
and I remember you. I've seen you. I've done my fair share of a little stalking and saying, who are these folks around here? And I can appreciate what you've been doing over the years as well.
I appreciate it. Yeah. The country boy from Arkansas done. But I kind of look back and see all the people I've had on. Some I may hear no more. It's been a ride. It's been a journey.
But that's good. I mean, you've actually been able to touch a lot of people, see a lot of different perspectives, and I think that adds to the richness of your experience as well. So I commend you.
I appreciate it. So you also a homesteader. When did all this? How did it work? Were you still working, and did it develop at the same time? What happened with that?
Yeah, I can't say that I set out to be a homesteader. That was a byproduct. But I will say that I have been looking to invest in land for many years, for I would say probably well over a decade before, I've gotten this homestead now. So when this opportunity presented itself, was in 2019. We just jumped on it. Again, it wasn't a master plan at that point. It was just something that we were looking into. We found it, and I was the one who said, "We're buying it."
Mhm.
Not ready, but we were buying it. And I think it was probably meant to be like God sent because 2020 lockdown. So I don't know that we would have been here had we not invested when we did, because I don't really think we could have afforded it had we waited, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
yeah, that's true because everything kind of skyrocketed.
It
The,
went
let me ask you this now. Coming up, were you more of a city lady or a country lady, or were you always?
a
How
steady.
did it,
I'm a transplant from New York,
really,
downtown Manhattan. Yep.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't. I came to Atlanta in 2000. I remember the whole 1999 and oh no, we're going to be set back because all the computers are going to not roll over, and I was making my way here. So I've been in the South now for 26 years, and so I believe I'm a bona fide peach. I
Oh
get
yeah, for
I'm
sure.
on my certificate,
Uh-huh.
but at this point I should be in the realms of bona fide certified peach. But no, I am not originally from the South at all. Most,
Okay, okay.
most people can tell because I don't have an accent, or at least they tell me I don't have.
Right. Well, I just always thought, boy, she's super articulate. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got no kind of twang. Her mom, somebody must have been a teacher.
Well, interesting enough, my mom did start in education. That
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, my mom was in education, and then
Yeah.
she, over time she worked her way up as a counselor, then a principal. So yeah, my mom was strict.
Yeah. Dialect and stuff. I know my mama, but she be on me. Hey, I know I don't use the correct words over here all the time, but so but let me ask you this, because now I gotta ask you this. So I kind of like did sort of the same thing, even though I'm from the South.
Hmm,
I moved them to a more of a country environment.
hmm.
How was that for you?
Um, well, I willfully went towards that. So it
Right.
was so even if there were some changes, I embraced it. And there were some changes. I'll say my first 6 months, even in Atlanta,
Mhm.
coming from the north, I had to get used to people waving at you. I'm like, what the hell? What are you talking about? Hello.
Yeah.
Why are you waving at me? I mean, I really had to shed some of that, and understand the whole Southern hospitality.
Uh-huh.
Um, and as fast paced as we think it is now, it really is not comparable to what New York was. I mean, no, it
Right.
wasn't. There was a bit of that, but I went into it knowing that there was going to be a complete difference. I was looking forward. I wanted it. I wanted it. So
Mhm.
um, that part, I think I made my way. I mean, I still couldn't understand all the Peachtree streets and stuff. I mean, if you drop me off on Peachtree Street, I still won't know where I'm at. But
Right.
uh, that part wasn't bad. Now, I thought you were going to say like making the transition to homestead life, because to me this was really the tell of, okay, even though I was in the South, I'm still in suburbs, right? In the HOA,
Yeah.
right? Your grass cut a certain height,
Right.
can't put the garbage can out, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Your dogs are barking too loud, somebody's going to complain.
Mhm.
God forbid they got out and they're on your property, but people calling the police on you, that kind of thing. So,
Mhm.
but coming to this homestead life, to me that was a yet another jump, because now I've got a completely different um, motivation, right? I really want to embrace what this land can do for us. Make the land work for you, whatever that means. And so it was an ability to give our dogs more space and all that, but the draw wasn't for the dogs. The draw was already there, and coming into this whole understanding of self-sufficiency and how do you do that? Because I'm going to tell you, like, I know my grandmother was into gardening. You'd have to help her till her
Mhm.
soil every time spring came, but that just wasn't passed down in that regard. So when
Yeah.
I was green, Like I feel like I'm discovering something when in fact we should have these skill sets already, and we don't.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It kind of skipped us because I think because we maybe migration, and it was a lot of emphasis on getting the education and
Get out of the South, escape certain things, and don't work as hard. But there's a cost to that.
it
Now we
sure was.
don't have those skill sets that were passed down, how to take care of ourselves. Now we're completely dependent upon the society that may not necessarily care about us.
Right. And a lot of people are running back to that lifestyle, like having chickens and things like that. You have Pyrenees, you breed rabbits too, right?
Yeah, I got rabbits. As a matter of fact, I just had a litter, and then I just bred 3 rabbits today. Like, okay, next 3, let's go.
So what do you do with the rabbits?
Well, they're meat. They're meat.
Okay, I'll just ask because I eat a little rabbit too now.
They are meat rabbits.
Right.
They do feed the dog, and we do actually process them. And I've been selling the meat as part of our freeze dried offerings in our store. So yeah, it's good meat.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, because there's a lot of bones, but I will stew a rabbit.
It's lean meat. It's
Yeah.
very lean meat, and they're prolific, so you can survive if you have to.
Right. So if I had to put the corporate world over here and the homestead world over here, what was it? Was it anything that you learned that intertwines with both worlds, or?
Yeah, you know what? That's a very good question, because I think that there are some basic business acumen that I've learned through the years, through my career. And quite frankly, I've always said in my back of my mind, oh yeah, I'm good what I'm doing, but at the end of the day, I'm working to make someone else rich, right?
Right.
I'm giving my intellectual property, my skill set to a company to better their bottom line. And so the synergy, absolutely, because when you think differently and putting that into your own space, into your own work, and everything that you produce, grow, uh, has the return on investment to you and your lifestyle, then yeah, there were synergies. I could apply it to what we're doing here on the homestead. So absolutely. So if you think about it, whether it's a widget, whether it's a dog, it's a goat, applying that business acumen and looking to improve it and make sure that it gives you a return on your investment is no difference in my mind.
All right. Now let me ask this, and then I'll get out your business so much. We never. Well, I've seen them a few times, but tell us about your husband and how important it is to have a supportive mate.
Oh my gosh, that's a great question. So he's in IT as well. I've been in data analytics and master data management, and I'm kind of forward from a strategic perspective. So I've gone up the ranks in the executive ranks. He is infrastructure, AI, and cloud.
Ooh.
So he
Good career.
so he is where I get frustrated, I don't want to do this, he'll come in. So we complement each other from a career perspective, from that
Right.
He now I can say I'm allowed to say this because he said I can say that he is a nerd. So
Right.
he is a nerd, a techno geek. He is a double alumnus from Georgia Tech. So think that he is truly that nerd. But he has family and grew up partially in Georgia and Virginia. So it was not a leap for him in terms of homesteading and this lifestyle. And he's had a lot of growing up, I guess, experience with construction and carpentry from his father. So he got the double-sided coin too, where his parents pushed education and that as well, but they also gave him some skill sets, right?
Right.
that are missing. So it I did not drag him into this. This was a nice compliment that he brought to the table. So to answer your question in terms of what is it like to have a supportive partner, mate, I don't even know how to put that in words. Two heads are always better than one, and when one is weak, the other can be strong, and both headed towards a common goal is always the better place or position to be in. So I don't know how else to answer that in terms of um, it is the best situation that I could dream about to be in a homestead. And yes, we have all of our problems. You know, there's what is it? The quality of our problems have improved. You don't never have problems, but the quality of them have improved, and we look to solve them whatever we can in that space. So I think it's a wonderful thing, and I think the last commentary I'll have, I think most people, I don't say all because I can't get into everybody's head, but I think most people would desire that type of partnership so that they can move forward together.
Yes, yes, it's absolutely essential that your partner be on board and supportive. Now, I got one more question before we go into some of your this wasabi.
Yes.
You said a lot of things, and you don't know me, so my head started churning. And so, in the African American community, we have two great people in the past, which was W.E. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, and they had opposing views. Booker T. Washington was more of a preaching, learn how to work with your hands, blah blah blah, work the land, blah blah, machinery and all that. Then we had W.E. Du Bois, who was more like book knowledge and everything like that.
Social status.
Right? Yeah, yeah.
I'll leave that part out because he.
Yeah. So, being that, what are your thoughts on that for especially any young person listening on how that works? Because you kind of like the best of both worlds in that aspect as well.
Yeah, another great question, especially where the world is headed at now, and people, I think it's always been that way, but people are actually starting to see it. I think for us, it is very crucial, our men and our women, but our men need to learn some basic skills.
Yeah.
So before I tell them, oh, go get an education, and I'm nothing against school or technical, I'm not against that. But what I'm saying is we are missing some fundamentals. So a trade, I guess the baby boomers before Gen X, there was, what was that, shop classes and home economic class.
Yeah,
All that stuff was
we called it Metro. Yeah.
all that kind of was ingrained in education. But
Yes.
once that's gone, like we're not being taught how to live and exist on our own. Right? Don't know. That's what I meant by we're missing like how to grow a garden, how to if your electricity goes out, open up that breaker box and figure out some basic things, plumbing. Like we need basic skill set. We also need financial literacy, right? We don't, as a people, don't truly understand. And I'm not just going to say, oh, go make some money and save. Well, there's more to it than that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got to make some money, but you got to know how to grow your money.
Just can't sit in a bank and pile it up. It got to work for you.
Right. How to either invest, and I don't just mean stock market, but how to make that money work for itself and build on itself. We don't have financial literacy, financial acumen. And because we don't have that, we may get the money, but it goes in and flows right out. We don't know how to build up our own communities anymore. I'm not saying that we haven't had it because we have a lot of things that have tore it down, but we're missing that. So, I would focus on, our new bucks, our new blood, learn some basic skills that we take for granted. I like a man that can do stuff. That's a manly man that
That's right.
I shouldn't have to call another man to fix something out.
Right.
And that's just basic. I'm not getting into what is this big I guess war,
Gender,
whatever whatever that. I'm not even getting into that. It's just some.
Right.
I'll just stand on 10 toes down. We do have our roles, or we bring things to the relationship. A man needs to be a man.
Yes,
Hard
it is.
stop. I will not, fight me in the comments. I don't care.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hard stop.
Mhm.
And a woman needs to be a woman. It's just more or less, if you're going to ask me, yeah, what we're missing is that backbone, and a lot of that just starts with taking care of your business, taking care of your household, knowing how to do things, or being resourceful enough to figure it out. And like I said, and then it's not second, but parallel to that is knowing about money. And I
Right.
mean, really knowing about money. There, financial instruments,
Mhm.
how to do tax avoidance, not evasion, but tax
Right. Boy, yeah.
or how to, invest your money smartly, or how do you create, and I'm not going to get into financial instruments, but create a mechanism so that you can bequeath that to either your heirs or your people,
Right, right.
your nephews, your nieces, your cousins, and get that stuff set up before you pass and they're arguing over it.
Do
Or
you I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you think in your mind, because I know I kind of do, I shoot for a certain amount of incomes. Do you think the same way, or you just like it's a
with,
portfolio thing?
it's a portfolio.
Okay.
So yeah, yes, you can say I want this amount, but what I focus on is the family of businesses. And when I mean family of businesses, it's like anything else. What is the saying? You have multiple revenue streams or multiple irons in the fire.
Right.
And if they have synergies between them, that's even better because they can feed off of each other. And that's going back to what you were mentioning, wasabi's. Wasabi's is a brand develop. The name comes from a French bulldog that we have, but it is our foray into uh, retail, commercial retail, leading with pet foods. And that pet food is processed by us on our homestead in a freeze dried manner, and we now offer that not only to the folks that have our dogs, but also the general public, and it's going really really well. But technically, that was a branch from breeding, right? The
Mm-hmm.
pet services that we've gotten into, and then we've really, and homesteading, quite frankly, because the freeze drying component of it was a mechanism. How can I do long term storage for our food, not only for our canines, but for our own selves? And because the mechanism to do that can be applied not only to pet food, but also to human grade food, to pharmaceuticals, and which we also use the business to business mechanism. So we're business to customer, so the normal retail, but we also do services for other businesses. Think we have a client in Florida that does candy like Skittles, and then we freeze dry whole batches for them.
Oh,
Or
really?
yeah,
Okay.
and we have a client in Pennsylvania that does he does men's supplements, and
Mhm.
the basis of it is like the freeze dried eggs, and so we supply the freeze dried eggs for him. So many tentacles from that, right? And that's what I mean by a family of businesses. So if one either wanes or fails, another one is either coming up the ranks or can fill in the gaps. And that's part of, again, a strategy we've employed. And I think advice for others is think about it like that. Never be single threaded, and don't overextend yourself, but think of how that one idea could branch off into potentially many.
That's right. So is this available for local pickup and online?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
We do have a section in there if you were looking to um, pick up from us, you can.
Okay.
We also do we call it an authorized reseller program. It's not on the website. We've been talking to, I think
Okay.
right now we just have about three, a possible four. Um, there's three definitely breeders, but the fourth one, he's interested. He's not a breeder, but it is basically kind of they buy our branded items wholesale, and they resell it at their, they come up with their preferred cost structure, and then they get that revenue or their profit for themselves. So it is not a full-blown franchise, because we don't want to necessarily put so many restrictions, because with a franchise, there's very restrictive ways in how you would have to sell. But under an authorized reseller program that we have, it is more or less just purchasing our product wholesale. You still sell it branded, because you can't take the packaging off, but whatever price you can get for
Okay.
you then can it's a in that case, I think it's another mechanism or gig or hustle that folks are looking into doing, and everybody wants to feed their pets.
Right. Yeah, it fulfills a need. So would that be an affiliate link, or would they have to build out their own situation on website and all that?
So we have 3 with a possible 4, and so we're working through it.
Okay.
So that's something we're actually kind of working with them now. I have the technical expertise to help them in that regard. So it's kind of growing. So that would be on an individual basis right now, how we strategize for that. But certainly if they needed that kind of setup, and with these 3, because they're small, right? We're not trying to target like the big players right now. We are actually offering an opportunity for the people who need to come up.
Right. Exactly.
Come up, and
Uh-huh.
where we didn't have that, we're offering that to others. And so some, out of the 3, they're still trying to get their feet wet. So we're how we can best help them do that.
Right. Do you have time, or have you did a lot of mentorship?
Um, well, the funny you should say that, but the mentorship that I have done in the past has always been in my primary career.
Oh, got you. Okay, got you.
Because remember, when you're working and you're doing this, you don't have much time. So yeah, it was always in my career, but now I'm free. I feel so much freer. So yes, we are. I'm open to that now, but
Okay, so
we never happened at that time.
right. So where do you see Wasabi 5 years from now? Where do you hope it to be?
Yeah, well, okay, if I have my druthers, so we had a brick and mortar store now, but we want to move, we're looking to sell that because we own the store. That was one thing we didn't want to do, is lease anything. But we're looking to sell that location and get a better location,
Mhm.
or at least more foot traffic. I would say more foot traffic. We don't primarily we get our sales online, but we want to have some other like things in the store as well. Like we want to have a section where you can do some grooming, we can do some small scale boarding. So we
Oh,
we
nice.
build a bit
Okay.
more foot traffic for that.
Right.
So 3 to 5 years, I would like to have multiple locations in
Right.
in primary areas, like really good areas.
So you got chicken, you got freeze dried chicken, seafood options.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The salmon is very popular. We get a lot of orders for the freeze dried eggs, and I'm gonna just say this: I don't think it's all folks that are feeding it to their pets. I think because of everything that's going on, and a lot of more people are stocking up. I think some of that is people are just stocking up, even though
Yeah,
even though
exactly.
they're not for human consumption.
Right.
But I really think people are stocking up, and I think it's smart. I
Yeah,
don't I don't blame them.
right. Well, you've been on a tear lately with content. I saw you popping up. I said, "Whoa, what's going on?" Bam, bam, bam. And you had you was like, I'm starting a show. What was the show on every Thursday? The
Yeah.
Breeder Confidential. What is that the name of it?
Well, the ones on Thursday I call it the hard truth, and anything I post on Sunday I'm calling that Breeder Confidential. So hard truth is I'm real chatty. I got a lot to say.
Right. Well, you know what? Before you go on, I heard you was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk about the stuff the breeders don't want to talk about. I'm like, oh, Ericka, you can't. What you gonna talk about? We ain't talking about. Shoot, when I listened, I said, God, dog. I mean, you were over there showing that. I said, dang, she done got it edited and going down and like really breaking down the reproductive shit up. I was like, okay. I mean, you took it to another level. You're a driven young lady, that's for sure.
Yeah. I said, now that I'm free, I'm coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, well, one, I will say, because I'm going to be more on camera. Before I was more voiceovering,
Uh-huh.
and a lot of that again was a lot from work. I got to keep a balance and kind of keep a low profile because I did have people in executive room. Are you the 12 Titans lady? And I'm like, so. But now I'm like I don't have to
Right.
keep a low profile, and I can say more with what I think. I've got a lot of stories to tell over the
Right.
years and experiences, and I'm like, I'm just gonna say it. And what do I care if somebody's gonna have
But Ericka,
have some hate?
I'm gonna tell you something. It's I've noticed a few ladies that's been real successful in
Hmm,
the Connie Corso on YouTube, and they didn't show their face very much.
really?
Yeah, you know what I figured out about you? You would be talking and your voice. I'm telling you, it's something about the female's voice.
Ah,
I'm telling you, I think that's how because it almost was like storytelling. And then,
maybe,
because I will be like looking at your videos, and then I'll be like, I just you kind of just zone out into them, you know?
maybe, yeah.
Yeah. No one ever told you that.
No, and yeah, and on all transparency, yes, I recognize people have said, "Oh, your voice," so the voice is its own thing,
Mhm.
and I recognize that. And yeah, I've been told a lot that I should do audiobooks and all that kind of stuff, and I think that's really cool. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the recognition, and I do recognize that that is part of the overall branding and why people
Mhm.
would watch it. But yeah, I'm going to be in front of the camera as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. You definitely doing your thing. One of the hottest topics you talked about, you said social media is hurting the Connie Corso.
Yeah.
And I do want to say, I cover since I've been in the media a while, it's some really good channels out there and everything, but I don't I got to get a Connie Corso people a lot of credit because we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in our breed. We don't sugarcoat it. You know what I mean? You know, I don't know what it is about us, but we just tell the truth on our dogs. You know what I mean? So
I agree.
what do you mean? What ways have social media harmed the Connie Corso?
Yeah, some of the things. I mean, oh man, I could go on for days. But one of the pet peeves I always have was the whole "it's a gentle giant." I hate that. If that's got to be one of my pet peeves. Like, do you really know what this dog was bred for all this time? It's not for the meek. It's not for the weak. Like, if you want a golden doodle, go get a golden doodle. Stop trying to make this dog this dominant. I don't think people really understand what dominant really means.
They do. Yeah.
I don't think they understand. And if you try to describe it, then they go into the realm of, oh, it's vicious. Like, you don't understand.
Well,
You don't
they do not. A lot of them do not understand temperament. They
know.
yeah, they just they don't understand war. It's weird. I was
It,
arguing with
it
a dude in the
is.
comments, and he was like, well, we need dogs like that that'll go down there. I said, bruh, I breed dogs with brains that know not to go if it get out to go kill a child to know it's not a threat. But he said something like, "Oh, yeah, well, certain people need those types." I was like, "Okay, bro, you know."
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, people are confused, and I a lot of times I just don't see the middle ground. I just see the extremes,
yeah.
like, and even to, and I think, and I'll say this too. People don't want to hear it, but they're scared of their dogs.
Oh yeah, oh
And
yeah.
scared of a dog, this is not the dog for you because you cannot be pussyfooting around with this dog. Like,
Yes.
why do you want this dog and you scared of it? I,
Right.
I see that, the gentle giant. I see the just, and this is probably not necessarily just unique to the Cane Corso, but they just want the look. But as soon as they get the dog is a mature and it is in its prime and it gets a little hard. Oh, I can't deal with this dog. And I'm like, man, there's some weak people out here.
Yeah. So
Weak.
I'm glad you said that because I've heard some men say, well, women don't need certain type of dog. But really, if me and it ain't really about the size, it's about your personality.
I
You know what I mean? What kind
Yeah,
of person you are.
absolutely. I know people were looking at me when I first got my two Cane Corsos years ago. I will say I didn't have the in my head. I wouldn't have articulated it like I am now back then. I just knew, oh, I can't have dogs that are going to be bigger than me around my 3-year-old and my mom, and then I can't control them.
Mhm.
And so I endeavored on, I've got to ensure that I am the leader and I am going to have complete obedience. And my stance has always been command, then demand. Hard stop. I'm
Mhm.
commanding it and I'm demanding it. There's no in between.
Mhm.
So that was just my personality. And I applied that to my then Cane Corsos. And so I'd be out and I'd have them off leash or I'm working with them and people are like, how's this little lady doing this? And I didn't I'm like, why is this a big deal? Like, shouldn't everybody do this? Like, what's the big deal?
Mhm.
And now over the years, I recognize like people don't do this. They just get the dog and like, oh, he's gonna be so sweet and loving on him and never give it any boundaries, never recognize dog behavior. Like, how can you not know? Didn't you see the dog was telling you right there? That dog, you staring at, didn't you see that's tense? Didn't you see his shoulder? Like
Mhm.
they don't pay attention to the dog. They are really clueless, and they should not have this dog.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so much, and oh, back to your question, the social media is like it shows certain things or little snippets, and people will hang on that, and they don't do nothing else. They don't do no research. They don't put any effort into the dog. They
Mhm.
just one thing, and that's all they have, and that's where we find the Cane Corso in the boat of a lot of other dogs before it, right?
Yeah. I call it the most important dog right now. What is your thoughts on size?
My brain was like, size doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Hold on. I guess the default should be a Cane Corso should automatically be a robust dog.
Hmm.
Hard stop, right?
Right.
There is a phenotype and a weight range that makes sense for this dog. So in
Hmm.
my head, I'm trying not to be desensitized and not acknowledge that. No, it is a robust dog. But now it's like anything else. They've made it such that you're going to go beyond stretching beyond those limits. I don't think there should be 180-pound Cane Corso.
Super
On what
size.
what
Yeah.
on what structure? Let me
Hmm.
see that. Let me see that 180-pound Cane Corso when it turns 5.
Yeah.
Will it make it to 5?
Probably not, and it'll be broke down.
Can
Woo.
will it be on
Yeah.
arthritic legs? I don't know. So does size not matter? I think it does, but relative to the proportions and within the range that it should be, and the physicality. Also, people don't work their dogs.
Hmm.
Right? They just let it be either bored as hell and get into trouble,
Hmm.
or just let it sit around and become fat.
Right.
So they're not stimulating it. They're not mentally challenging their dogs. And then that's when they get into trouble because now when they turn 2, 2.5, 3, and now they're like thinking like I want to do something, that's where trouble begins. So
And
size,
then
you know,
right. And then you know what? I was thinking a lot of people want to rush the puppy's growth.
Oh
and
yeah.
wait. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they don't even know, like, too, after about 2 years old, that Corso starts thinking it out.
Yeah, first it gets to it's got to go through that gangly period. You know, it looks
Yep.
like a goat, like all legs all long and gangly.
Hmm.
But yes, it does take a longer time in a well bred Corso to it grows up and then it grows out. And it's like I used to joke with Greg. I said it's like at 1 year, year and a half, that's like a between 17-year-old, 25-year-old. You know, they think they're grown, but they're not grown. But when it hits 3, now you're talking about a grown man. It's got some chest, chest hairs. It's got its full bulk, and so people
Hmm.
don't realize that. They do. You're right. They try to overfeed it. They just want it
Hmm.
big. They know nothing about its health.
Right, right. Um, how can prospective buyers distinguish between a knowledgeable, responsible breeder and someone who's simply talented at social media marketing?
Ooh, talk to them. Well, first of all, they should not be in a rush.
Hmm.
Not be in a rush. And I know that's hard, especially in today's world. It's just like everything is, fast fashion, fast food. Just give me. I see it. I like it. I want it.
Hmm.
And I think there are a lot of people on social media, a lot of breeders, whatever, influencers. If people would take their time and just talk to their prospective breeder,
Hmm.
get to know them, they either will learn a lot or they won't learn much, and they will know that maybe this is not the one. And it's also fit too. You can have two well qualified, responsible breeders. You want to go with the one that is more, you know, your liking or your fit. So there's that. But if you're just talking about, just I see somebody online, they look good, they're talking fast.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily the qualifications you should be looking for.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, that's the funny thing about social media versus real breeders. Being that I've been in social media, I know them both.
Yes.
I know them both. What and so it's hilarious, and I try to make sure I stick the right people in front of the audience because as a content creator we have a responsibility to keep our audience safe. You know
Right.
what I mean? If I bring somebody on a scammer or somebody,
Right. Then you expose them. Yeah, that's a good point.
which I have had to pull episodes after. So I'm like, whoa. So
Yeah.
there's certain things you don't know, but yeah. So let me ask you this one: um, what dangerous or unstable behaviors are being created online as protection, and how does legitimate protective ability differ from an uncontrolled dog?
Ooh, ooh, that's packed.
Hmm.
That is packed. Um, okay, these are my opinions and not necessarily the opinions of Joe of NWA.
It's all right. I stay in trouble anyway. It don't matter.
I think fundamentally, first let's focus on the owner first,
Hmm.
right? Before we start talking about the behavioral issues or red flags in a dog, let's talk about the owner. I think a lot of folks are confused. They want the dog to be everything all at once.
Hmm.
What do you want? Do you want that dog to be so gentle and so even and untriggered that he just plays with, your grandbabies and they jump all over them and somebody comes to the door, they're like, "Hey, how you doing?" You go to Home Depot, you're walking around, everyone's like, "Oh, he's a beautiful dog." You want that? Do you want the dog that is a guardian and sees and recognizes a threat and tries to get it, like really get it?
Hmm.
Like, what do you want?
Hmm.
Because every dog is not going to be everything.
That's right. It
That's just the truth. And if
is the truth.
I want all of this, and I want my grandbabies, and I want all of this, and I want them to do bite work, and I want them to just rip
Mhm.
that arm off. You want them to do bite work? You sure? but and you're going to be able to keep that dog stable enough to be with your grandchildren and not get triggered. I mean, what do you want? So I think part of that starts with, what are you exposing this dog to? What are you telling it is its job? And I just don't agree that every dog can be everything all the time, all at once.
No.
So then I would jump into the red flags and all that stuff. But I don't want to blame the dog up front, right? It starts with, what job are you giving it?
Right, right. You know what? I got a buddy down here near me. His name is Brad Sneed. He breeds Dogo. What is it? Yeah, Dogo Argentinos, right?
Yes.
And so he got all this extravagant film of hunting and all that stuff. And I mean, he a badass. I'm talking about, this a badass white boy. I'm serious. He bad. Dirt Road, Arkansas.
Yeah.
And you know, I said this on another episode. You know what he told me? The number one thing a working dog wants to do?
Work?
No,
what?
To please his owner.
To
please his master is how he puts it.
Master, okay.
Yeah, I guess that's however, you know, you take it. He said that's what makes them great. His dogs, great family dogs. You know what I mean? So, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. So when you said it, my first thought was a working dog. What's the word? In my mind, you qualified it with work. Let me take the absurd. Okay, I won't use absurd, but let me take the really swing the pendulum. I have a mini dachshund.
Yeah.
He is 8 pounds. He's like this big, but he thinks he's 80 pounds. And that dog, I got him on impulse. I'm not gonna lie. I preach this all the time, but then I broke the rule. Just, oh, he's so cute. We can have a little and he'd be comic relief and all this other stuff. This dog we call him a terrorist. I have to actually put him in the goat paddock sometimes, just let him run it out and chase after them, because he is a natural born killer, right? His instincts say he needs to go and kill something. He needs to go after the vermin, the rats, the goats, the chickens. That's just in him. Is he being that way to please me?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I got you.
In him. So he's a working dog. So some dogs are so innately, they were bred for things. It's just in them. Right. I think that's an easy example for people to understand. Or another easy example, border collies. Yeah, you could say they're trying to please their master, but it's just in them.
Right. Yeah. Right? To do their job. Yeah.
So I don't disagree with what you said and what the other person said. I don't disagree per se, but genetics.
Yeah, the nature of the dog. Yeah, I understand.
The dog has a lot to do with it, and it's not always I just got to please you because. Do I think my Corsos have integrated into our pack and that they really respect us? Yes. But one of mine, Kalia, she ain't thinking about me when she looking at my chickens. And if I turn my head or I let her, I would not whether or not I can't, I would be displeased of her getting a bite of my chickens would not factor into it. So, it's multifactorial, right? It is, you have to consider nature, nurture, the pack element, the relationships, and it's dynamic because I would be remiss to not say, we also have to remind them constantly, like, we're the boss. Don't forget.
That's true.
Right. So
hard-headed, yeah.
Relationships ebbs and flow. They're not the same dog. I got a 9-year-old turning 10, and even she's like, I'm like, Asha, get back here. She's all down by the lake. I know she's thinking, bitch, I'm old. What you gonna do?
Yeah, and they get older, they get grumpy too.
Grumpy?
Yeah,
What you gonna do? And I'm like,
right.
So, things are not cut and dry. It's dynamic. it's, they have their opinions. They are sentient beings, and they have their
Yeah.
own opinions and thoughts. They're not human, but
Mm-hmm.
they do have a mechanism of thought and feelings and what they want to do, and they get comfortable and they decide, I don't want to do this today. So I just, no, it's not always to please you. No, it's not.
Yeah, I got
I,
you.
I changed my opinion. No, it's not. Sometimes.
Okay, hey, that'll work. So let me ask you this one, because this is a tough one for me, being that I'm in the media and I've been in part of probably some of the most prolific conversations when it comes to dogs.
Yes.
And so, well, here's the question. Since you also use social media to promote your dogs in business, how do you ensure that your own content educates people instead of contributing to the problem?
I probably contribute to it. I call myself out all the time because we're part of it. We're not, I said this in the last video I did. I'm not outside the system pointing a finger. I'm guilty too. I mean, now we are part of the system, and at the end of the day, we're a business as well. So we
Yes.
have to do something to stimulate, interest. So yes, there's a balance, and I don't know that I have perfected it. I don't know. I
Right,
call
right.
myself on it. I cannot say with total transparency, like, oh no, I don't contribute. I probably do. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be, but I do have a self awareness to say, hey, wait a minute, some of this stuff is just generally out of control.
Yeah.
Some
Well,
of this stuff is like just damn.
yeah, I have to agree. I have to agree from my standpoint too, being a podcast, because I saw another podcast say they starting, and I was reading their flyer that says, and it's going to be no drama and no politics. Podcasting,
Come on,
you're not going to avoid it.
and it's gonna be boring because what are you gonna talk
Yeah,
about?
you can deal with it a certain way, but when it comes to dogs, Erica,
It's politics.
politics is it's all politics. So
Yeah.
yeah, good answer. That well, I like you. Tell the truth. If viewers remember only one lesson from how social media has harmed the Connie Corso, what do you want the lesson to be?
Mm. I can't get it out of my brain other than saying slow down
Mm-hmm.
because we are in an ADHD culture
Mm-hmm.
and people just jump on whatever, they don't think. I don't care if people don't like hearing it. Fight me in the comments. They don't think. They just kind of latch on. They what are they? They're headliners. They don't read. Just the headline said that. That's all I remember. I would say slow down, especially to the extent that you decide I want to bring one of these animals, whether it's cunning or any dominant large breed, any dog, but I'm pro large dominant breed. Slow down. And
Mm-hmm.
just because you see it on screen or on your tablet or on your phone, like think, just take your time. Woo-side out, don't impulse, like just take your time. That's all I can think of. Like sometimes the best cure is just to slow down and not make that rash decision. And
But
then,
you know that as being a breeder, that's something you got to learn in dogs. You
yeah,
got to be patient. When you start, yeah, you start to taking your emotion out of stuff, because a lot of times, especially when you start out of dogs, it's large investments.
it's a large investment. It's
Yeah.
not a long return, right? It's
Mhm.
not immediate. And then you might invest all that time and money and then it doesn't work out. And
Yeah.
so people don't see that.
Right. Well, I think that's been a great interview. I'm gonna get ready to let you go. Um, if you have any last words, any advice. One thing about it though, hold on. Wait. Okay. So you said something about social media, and you can't really duck it nowadays if you're going to have any sort of business, right? And you had probably millions and millions of views and thousands of millions of comments and stuff. Is there any pressure on social media? Or how do you deal with it? Did you form a shell or become desensitized to certain things, whether it be negative or whether it be positive, to make you kind of feel like you know.
Yeah, you got to have some thick skin. I'm not going to say I'm impervious to it, because even now I got a few things I was like, oh, and then I have to just remind myself, I have to tell myself, it doesn't matter, or they're just demons, or but yes, anytime you put your business out in the streets, these internet streets, you need to develop some level of a shell or strategy, because it's not going to be all good, reaction. Sometimes there's going to be negative reactions. And on the other side, too, even the good reactions, you kind of have to also take it with a grain of salt, because they can put you in this headspace of, I'm doing everything right. Like, oh, wait, so you somewhere in the middle, that you have to be, again, acknowledge the good and the bad, and figure out, you have to watch other folks too. If you're not if you're not filtering your lens through what other people are doing, just to say, hey, what are they doing? Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Or I don't care. Or, oh, that was interesting. So, you just can't live in a bubble. I would think,
Right.
Protect yourself. Absolutely. Protect your, your mental, as they call it, protect your mental, but also recognize that, we're not, we all have gifts, and yes, we all bring something, but there's somebody probably just like you out there. And that's good too, because I'll say this, I used to think, things about me like, I don't know if anyone else has gone through this. And then what social media really has done is expose, like, oh shit, there's other people who've gone through this. I'm not so special, either in a good way, or, I'm not the only one who's had to deal with this. So, yes, you just have to recognize the space that you're operating in, and hopefully you're looking to evolve, and not just stay in a rut, or just think that you're just the best thing out there and no one else has gone through that. So
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Final one, I promise. Most overrated Connie Corso social media trend.
the overrated
The most overrated, yeah.
Oh, that's hard, because I just think it's the bigger is better. How much do they weigh? Starting out with, how much, I want a puppy. How much does the parents weigh?
Yeah.
Ask nothing about temperament, health test, nothing, just how much they weigh. So that kind of bugs me. Maybe that's my own pet peeve, and there's probably other overrated ones, but I feel like that's the biggest one.
Right. Well, Ericka,
it's been a pleasure, Joe. Thank you.
It's been great. I know I was excited. I was just rattling off questions at the beginning.
I love your style. Thank you. So I feel humbled, and I thank you for having me on.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we appreciate you. Keep up the good work. Everybody, check out Wasabi. She gonna try to hook me up and maybe give me a link one day. Maybe let me make a little money.
Tell me. I'll send you some free samples.
Okay, bet. But y'all check her out. She's a wonderful lady, man. We appreciate everything, how you've been representing the breed.
Thank you.
Until the next time.
Absolutely.